Kwaduoge boma Nairobi, nyakor mgajwang' Odita Jener Nancy Gathungu ochopo mbele komiti mar senet e weche motenre kod omenda moyiedhie. Oduoko penjo kaluwore kod omenda mag kaontis ma pachoka awinje kaka twak makamano dhi mbele.
At the end of the financial year, the receiver of revenue for the county government shall submit the accounts to the Auditor General and deliver a copy to the National Treasury, which is why we are focusing on the Controller of Budget, County Treasury, and the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Not later than 2 months after the end of each financial year, a receiver of revenue for the county government shall submit to a county assembly a full report with respect to all waivers and variations of taxes, fees, or even charges granted by the receiver during that year. But I won't read all of it, but I want to just read the relevant part. Actually, these people are supposed to be able to give the Auditor General reports 3 months after the financial year. So I think we wanted to amend what already exists. And I think that is just a misnomer that the Auditor General must be able to point out to and take note. I don't know whether it's the same language or you can help me see the understanding of that particular provision of law.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before the auditor responds to that, who is the receiver? Is it as per Section 157 of the PFM Act, receiver and collectors of county government revenue? So there is a receiver who is designated by the CCM Finance. Is that receiver the same as a collector? And Section 164 that my colleague, is it 164? 167? 165 that my colleague has read. Auditor, if I'm to take it word for word, it means that apart from the county treasurer, who is the head of the treasury, it means that you will be receiving then document directly from the receiver of the revenue, who has been designated by the county treasury. So, when you are responding to that query, look at 157 and 165. Those two.
Okay, maybe.
Thank you.
Very briefly on your point, Auditor General, if you could listen to me, you have set out 4 areas where you have said, which you've identified as relevant topics for audit. Now, one of the areas you've set out, Auditor, is the area of management of solid waste in cities. I presume or I know that all cities or all counties have companies that run water and sewage. Maybe you tell us, I'm sure there are other entities that have been contracted or that exist either as companies or as entities that manage some of these services, sewage services, and maybe that had escaped the audit net before. So that's an important point. Now, I think on CHPs it's quite straight. It's a shared responsibility. Though health is devolved under Schedule 4, there's a shared obligation on the part of CHPs under the framework that we have, the Social Health Act. Now, let me just ask another question. On riparian land, maybe you want to tell us whether there are also other entities that some counties have designated to deal with certain services and that collect revenue on behalf of counties and that have also escaped the audit net for a while. I do not know, and I'm just asking, because there are areas